welcome back to my channel. As I was putting up my Christmas tree, I thought of a story of when I was only 8 years old. Some people might know this, but I actually travel roughly 3,000 miles by myself when I was 8 for the most part. So I thought I would tell you guys that story while somewhat decorating my Christmas tree. You know, my channel's all about drinking while talking. So today we're gonna try Jack Daniel's Winter Jack. I did not know that Jack Daniel's made a hard cider until one of my friends told me about it. He loves this stuff, and I saw it at the store the other day. I was shopping and I decided to try it. So this is new to me. I don't think I've ever had a hard cider before. Yeah, I don't think so, or at least I can't think of any. So we'll give this a go, and then I'll decorate my Christmas tree, see how it looks, and yeah, let's get started then. The consistency is interesting. It looks thicker to me, but let's give it a go. Let's try this, see how it tastes. Oh. I don't know if I like it yet or not. We'll have to try it as we decorate, but it tastes kind of like cinnamon-ish to me. That's cinnamon or cloves. That's what it gives me a taste of. And I'm not a big fan of cinnamon just because I don't like Fireball after my earlier years. But like you know, it's a drunk drinking channel. So like always, I'm gonna finish this first drink before I pour myself some more. Here's hoping for the best, cause so far, not my favorite. I guess if you take it as a shot, it's not as bad. I think it's just the smell that gets to me. It has a distinctive like smell that I don't know how I feel about it. But we'll see by the end of this video how I feel about it. Okay, let's get started with my story. So, quite a few people know that I was born in El Salvador. And for those of you guys who don't, I was born in El Salvador. And I was raised by my maternal grandmother and my maternal great-grandmother. The reason I remember this story is because Christmas is kind of bittersweet to me, just because my great-grandmother passed away like pretty much after Christmas, before I came to live with my parents in the US. And it was a hard time for me. I was, like I said, I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to bring me here to live with them because I had pretty much been raised by my grandmother. I've been raised by my grandmother and my great-grandmother my whole life. So my parents decided to bring me to live with them when I was 8. The thing is, though, that I was brought here by myself. I didn't come with anyone else. Like, the whole trip was it was a bit scary for me, I will admit that, just because I was 8 years old traveling with a bunch of random people who I didn't know, and I didn't know what to expect. And for the most part, it was a fine, I guess, adventure for me. But traveling 3,000 miles by myself at that age was a bit nerve-wracking at one point. I do vividly remember that at one point, I was in Mexico at this point, and I do remember this. I started crying. Well, I was 8 years old and I was surrounded by a bunch of people I didn't know. Uh, and I'm pretty sure it was starting to overwhelm me just because, like I said, it was something new to me that I never done in my life before. And you know, it's to be expected at that age. That I was scared because I had no one with me, and I was coming to live with pretty much strangers. Because even though I knew where I was coming to and who I was coming to live with, I didn't know them. Like I don't. My father left and came to the U.S. when I was 3 months old, and my mother came here when I was, I want to say like 4-ish or so, and I don't have any recollection. I somewhat remember my mother like iffy. I remember bits and pieces of it, just because I was still a little bit old enough to somewhat remember her, but my father I never met. So as I was coming to the U.S., it was a whole new experience for me because I didn't know anyone here. I pretty much was coming here not by choice, but because my parents wanted me to live with them, and I appreciated that. At this time in my life, I appreciate it, and I see how hard they try to raise me and to bring me here to live with them so I can be part of their family. But at that time, like, that wasn't crossing my mind. It was just me by myself. It was just me by myself traveling with a group of strangers who I've never met, and it was overwhelming. I will say that. And the thing is that I did that whole pretty much 3,000-mile trip all by myself without knowing anyone, because I was brought here to live with my aunt in Houston, and I lived with her for a bit, and I liked it because there were kids there for me to play with, and it distracted me. But I knew that wasn't gonna last because I knew the reason I came here was to live with my parents. And so after a while, my dad went to pick me up in Houston, and like I said, I didn't remember my father because, like I said, he came here when I was only 3 months old. And so it was a bit overwhelming for me to pretty much having travel for 10 days to live with my aunt, live there for a while and start acclimating to that environment. And then all of a sudden, like, my dad, who was a complete stranger to me at that time, came to get me to live with them here in Washington, and it's just a lot of change for me. Like I said, my dad wanted to pick me up to live with them, and that was something completely new. It's a new change in environment for me. Like, I love my parents, don't get me wrong, but at the time, in my mind, I was living with strangers because I didn't know my dad. I hardly remember my mother, and I already had a sister who I never met before. And I was only 8 years old. If you haven't gone through something similar, it's hard to understand like what my mind was going through at those times. I was scared, iffy, I'm like overwhelmed, and then to top it all off, after that, I had to start going to school here. And first of all, I didn't know the language here. Like, I technically I was going to school in El Salvador, and I had learned some English, but not to that extent that my peers knew it, because at that age of 8, like most people would expect you to know most of it. And and I didn't, because I came from a third world country who hardly anyone spoke English. I went to school, and I met some good friends at the time. I actually still friends with one of them to the same age, which is funny because her and my birthday, like, we were born on the exact same day. So we met like right away after I started school. That actually helped me, and I'm really, really grateful to her to have been a part of my life, because in a way, like, even though she was a complete stranger to me, it was an experience that helped me start opening up to people and start having had her in my life. I really appreciated it. I miss her though. I haven't seen her in a minute. But even though the story is all over the place, now that I'm thinking about it, it gives you guys an idea, like, where I came from. I wasn't born here. I was raised here pretty much my whole life. I lived here the past 18 years. And it was a complete change for me, because from having celebrated Christmas in 2001 with my family in El Salvador, to like right afterwards, like my great grandmother getting sick, and then her passing away, and then grieving through that at that age. I don't know how, thinking about it, I think it helped me mature, because I lost someone I loved dearly and was always there for me, like, at such a young age. Helped me grow stronger, and helped me like try to be there for my grandmother, because I knew she was sad. Even at that age, I can tell that she was sad that her mother died, and I tried being there for her. And then from that, being pretty much ripped from my whole like life and environment to come live with my parents, who were completely strangers to me. It was a life-altering transition for me, and something I look back on now, and I miss those times. Like, it made me like reminisce of my time with my great grandmother and my grandmother, and it made me like appreciate more everything that she did for me. I will be the first one to admit that I wasn't always the best child, because I was really, really spoiled, because I was my grandmother's only grandson. So she spoiled me, and while there's nothing wrong with that, I miss that, like, when I came here, because she always paid attention to me. I was her first priority in her life. To like, from having like people do that to come live with strangers who I wasn't sure like how to deal with, was something for me, because I remember like living with my parents when I just came here, and I remember pretty much not knowing how to act, because like not knowing how to act around them, because I never technically lived with them. So I didn't know what they were expecting of me, and or what I was expecting of them, and it just, oh wow, this one, there we go. It just puts into perspective. It puts into perspective everything I've gone through in life, and I didn't know how to act pretty much around my parents when I came to live with them, because I had never lived with them. And my sister was already born when I got here, so they already had another child. And I love my sister, don't get me wrong. Like, I will do anything for that girl or my other siblings, even though they annoy me at times, but they're still my siblings, and I will always have their backs no matter what. Something I'm grateful for to have been taken away from my safe and shelter environment with my grandmother and my relatives over there is that I got to meet my siblings. I got to meet my younger sister. She was say like 1 year old, almost 2 years old when I met her. And I didn't know how to act around my younger sister when I came here, because she was already here when I got here. And I remember that she wanted all our parents' attention, and when I came to live with them, and I don't remember ever being like jealous or resentful to her about it, because I didn't really know our parents, and I was still acclimating to getting to know them. And so I have always loved my siblings, especially her. Even now that she's all grown up and has a daughter, I still love her, and I will do whatever it takes for her. Let's pour the rest of it. I don't know, this story is just all over the place, and it made me miss my family over there, because it's Christmas time, and I still vividly remember like spending Christmas with my grandmother, letting out fireworks. I don't have any regrets of having come here. It just brings into perspective that we all have gone through stuff in our life. And so yeah, so that was my story about me traveling 3,000 miles by myself from El Salvador to live in Houston and to come to the Tri-Cities. It was at a young age. It was a long experience for me, and I don't think I would trade it for anything, because not everything was sad. I had a lot of fun, like growing up in the Tri-Cities and growing up with my parents and getting to know my siblings. But yeah, okay. Okay, so regarding this drain cuts, let's put this on hold and let me not get any more emotional. But regarding this hard cider, I recommend you guys try it. Okay, let's go with that. At first, when I tried it, I was a bit iffy, just because it has an interesting flavor to it. Like I said, it gives you the scent of cinnamon and cloves, which in the beginning wasn't so great, but as I kept drinking it, I actually grown to like it, and it's pretty good. Like, I see why my friend likes it. Will I buy it again? Maybe, but we'll see. It's decent, I'll say that, for a cider. If you're into ciders, I will say you should get this a go. Now I see why it's called Winter Jack, because it reminiscence of like what you think Christmas should smell, which is like cinnamon and cloves and stuff like that. So it's reminiscent of that. So if you're into those type of things, totally recommend it. It's not overly sweet, so if you're not into sweet stuff, I think you might still enjoy it. It has a light sweetness to it, but it's not like overwhelming like the wine I had in my last video. It's mildly sweet, but it also has the tang of the cinnamon and cloves and other spices. Well, I hope you guys like my story, even though it's all over the place, because let me tell you, that story and those memories bring back a lot of fun as well as sad memories. And but yeah, it was fun for me filming it. Hope you guys like me reminiscing or getting drunk and decorating. By decorating, I mean like hardly decorating my Christmas tree. See you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers.